Let's talk about how an ancient king, staring down the barrel of a completely fractured nation, used a long-forgotten festival as a really radical tool to bring his nation back together. It's a pretty amazing story about leadership when things are falling apart.
So that's really the big question here, right? It's a problem that leaders have been wrestling with forever. And the story of King Hezekiah, it's this incredible and kind of surprising case study in how you might actually pull it off.
Okay, so to really get this, you have to understand just how bad things were. The kingdom was literally split in two: Israel up north, Judah down south. And this wasn't just some political disagreement. We're talking about a deep spiritual break that had been going on for generations.
And this is what's so telling. This wasn't just a political issue. One of the most important parts of their shared culture, the Passover festival, had been pretty much ignored. That's a huge red flag that the crisis was way deeper than just borders on a map.
This is where King Hezekiah of Judah steps onto the scene with this just wild idea. He decides he's going to do the unthinkable, invite everybody from both his kingdom and the rival kingdom to come together for one giant, unified Passover in Jerusalem.
And you can see, this wasn't just some off-the-cuff thing. It was a whole strategy. First, they make the plan. Then, they send out the official decree. But then, and this is the part that's just so bold, they send messengers on foot with personal letters deep into the rival northern kingdom. Talk about a direct approach.
And just listen to the tone of this letter. This is not a demand. It's not surrender or else. It's a genuine plea for people to come back. The message is all about compassion, basically saying, if you just turn back, you'll be welcomed. It's like he's extending an open hand, not clenching a fist. Now, you've got to imagine sending an invitation like this into what was basically enemy territory. I mean, that's a huge gamble. It was a real test of faith, and, as you might guess, the reaction was, well, it was complicated. And this contrast just shows you everything you need to know. Up north, the messengers were met with total cynicism. People were literally laughing at them, mocking the whole idea. But back home, in Hezekiah's kingdom of Judah, the people were completely on board, totally united in their desire to go. But, and this is so important, despite all that mockery, the invitation worked. It wasn't a total failure. A small group, a remnant from those northern tribes, actually humbled themselves and made the long journey south. The first little seeds of reunion were being planted. Okay, so people are actually showing up, which is amazing. But then, bam, a whole new set of problems. It turns out everything is technically wrong. They're doing it in the wrong month, they don't have enough priests ready to go, and a lot of the folks from the north hadn't done the right purification rituals. By the book, this whole thing was a bust.
So this is the moment of truth. Everything could fall apart right here. Hezekiah has a choice to make. Does he stick to the rigid, black and white rules, or does he lean into the spirit of unity that brought everyone here in the first place?
And he chooses grace. He offers up this prayer that's, well, it's pretty revolutionary for the time. He's basically asking God, hey, can we look at their hearts, not the rule book? Can you forgive them because they're here for the right reasons? He prioritized their sincerity over the ceremony.
And the answer is just as direct. The prayer is heard, the people are healed. Now, that probably means they were spiritually pardoned and also protected from any bad stuff that was supposed to happen when you broke the rules. The crisis was averted.
You know, the party was so incredible, so full of joy that when the first 7 days were up, literally nobody wanted to go home. So the entire crowd, people from the north and the south, they all agreed to just keep it going for another 7 days. A full 2 weeks of celebrating together.
And get a load of the scale of this thing. The leadership didn't just talk about unity, they put their money where their mouth was. King Hezekiah himself gave thousands of animals for the feasts, and his officials pitched in thousands more. This was a massive, expensive undertaking, all for the sake of bringing people together.
The record is really clear. This was a huge deal. They said you'd have to go all the way back to the golden age of King Solomon, who was the last king of a truly united Israel, to find anything that could even compare. This was absolutely historic.
But here's the real kicker. This isn't just about a great party. The most powerful part is what happened after everyone went home. That feeling of unity didn't just disappear. It actually lit a fire that started to change the whole nation.
I mean, look at this. Once the festival ended, these newly united people just fanned out across the country. And together, they started this huge spiritual cleanup, tearing down idols not just in their own backyard in Judah, but even traveling into the northern territories to do it there too. This was a grassroots movement that came from that one shared experience.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? The Great Passover itself wasn't the end goal. It was the spark. It was that one powerful shared moment that created the trust and the common purpose they needed for a real, lasting national renewal.
Which brings us all the way back to where we started. What does it take to heal a divided people? Well, Hezekiah's story suggests it takes some pretty bold leadership, a willingness to reach out to your rivals, a focus on the heritage you share, and, maybe most importantly, having the wisdom to choose grace over rules. It's a lesson that feels just as important today as it did thousands of years ago.